Now, little disclaimer, for period 1, the test did not have any correct choices, so I gave everyone credit for this question. For all the other class periods, it was corrected, it was fixed, so it should have been doable for you. But regardless, it's always nice to know how to do this. So the actual question is, given all this information, find sine of 2x. Now, even if you didn't know what to do, hopefully, based upon what they actually want you to solve, that clearly is an application of the double angle formula, because it says sine of double of x. So I can just go immediately straight to my formula sheet, and I should know that sine of 2x is 2 cosine of x times sine of x. So where am I supposed to get this information here? Well, this is where the given information comes from. This is an idea that we talked about in this unit, as we talked about in Unit 6, as we talked about it in Unit 5. Anytime they give us an exact trig ratio, you can always draw a triangle. So because I know cosecant of x is 4, I can draw a triangle, a right triangle specifically, put my angle x anywhere, and I know for a fact that the cosecant, which is the reciprocal of sine, hypotenuse over opposite, is 4. The hypotenuse over the opposite should be 4 over 1, because that's how you make any non-fraction to a fraction. And then, of course, we can use Pythagoras' theorem to figure out the missing side length. So what's that? 16 minus 1 is 15. There you go. So now, with this completed picture, I can just simply read what the sine and cosine is, because that's what we need, right? To answer this question, we need to figure out the sine and cosine of a regular x, and this triangle will help us do it. But we always have to be mindful of what quadrant we're in, and that's where this extra bit of information comes into play. So notice what they tell us. They tell us that the cosecant is positive. Remember, cosecant is related to sine, so this guy is related to sine. And then they tell us that the tangent of x is less than 0. That's a mathematical way of saying it's negative. So you have to ask yourself, of the 4 quadrants, which quadrant has sine positive and tangent negative? Well, I hope it doesn't take a lot of thinking to know that we are in quadrant 2. Well, if we're in quadrant 2, sines are positive and cosines are negative. So when I do the substitution, equals to cosine of x, reading this picture, cosine of x is rad 15 over 4. I should know that he is negative. And then the sine, according to this picture, is 1 over 4, and I know he's positive. So then all you had to do is simplify him. What's that? 2 rad 15 over, so that's negative rad 15 over 8. That should have been the answer. Again, for first hour, this was not an option. I gave everyone credit for it. For the rest of you guys, the question was fixed, so you should have seen this as an option.